Much discussion surrounds the practices that can bring us closer to a peaceful and present life. However, little is mentioned about the habits we currently possess that are profoundly detrimental to our well-being. First step toward transformation is admitting one's own mistakes. As Eckhart Tolle writes in The Power of Now, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. The journey of self-awareness begins with recognizing the habits that trap us in a state of constant worry and anxiety. When we live with an attachment to past events or future expectations, we are unable to fully experience the richness of the present moment. If we want to align with a more peaceful existence, one rooted in acceptance and presence, then we must identify and eliminate the habit of attachment to thoughts of past or future. Tolle explains in A New Earth, the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. Our minds are often consumed with thoughts of what happened or what might happen, but in doing so, we miss the beauty and serenity of the present moment. The more we allow ourselves to get lost in these thoughts, the more we are pulled into a world of worry, regret, and fear. First step to breaking free from these patterns is to recognize them and to begin practicing mindfulness, which helps us remain anchored in the here and now. Tolle's teachings emphasize that living in the present moment is not just a mental exercise, but a shift in consciousness. In The Power of Now, he writes, "The mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. Much of the suffering we experience is rooted in a mind that is constantly in motion, seeking to control and manipulate our sense of reality. When we are overly attached to our thoughts, we begin to identify with them, believing they define who we are. This attachment to the mind creates suffering and confusion. The practice of mindfulness, which involves observing our thoughts without judgment, allows us to become more aware of the present moment. By letting go of the need to control and judge, we open ourselves to the flow of life, where true transformation can take place. The path to inner peace requires letting go of the ego, which often appears as a sense of superiority or self-importance. Tolle explains that the ego is the false self, created by identification with thoughts, roles, and external circumstances. When we operate from the ego, we are constantly comparing ourselves to others, which fuels feelings of anxiety, competition, and inferiority. As Tolle writes in A New Earth, the ego is always in a state of wanting, always looking for something outside itself to give it a sense of completion. This mental posture creates a barrier between us and others, preventing us from experiencing the deep connection that is available when we let go of our judgments and comparisons. By releasing the ego and embracing the present moment, we allow our true self to emerge, one that is not bound by thoughts of superiority or inferiority. Eckhart Tolle teaches that when we stop identifying with our thoughts, we can begin to experience life as it truly is, free from the distortions of the mind. Much of the suffering we experience is rooted in a mind that is constantly in motion, seeking to control and manipulate our sense of reality. The practice of mindfulness, being fully present in the here and now, is the antidote to this mental chaos. By letting go of the need to control and judge, we open ourselves to the flow of life, where true transformation can take place. Forgetting about the present moment is another harmful habit that keeps us stuck in a state of worry. When we are not fully engaged in the now, we are often swept away by thoughts of what could go wrong in the future or regrets about the past. Tolle's teachings remind us that the present moment is all we have, and the more we are able to embrace it, the more we free ourselves from the tyranny of worry. As Tolle reminds us in The Power of Now, the present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. Practices such as mindfulness and meditation help us anchor ourselves in the present, allowing us to experience life more fully and with greater peace. The more we practice being present, the less power worry has over us. Meditation, which is a powerful tool for cultivating presence, helps us to quiet the mind and focus on the present moment. Tolle explains in A New Earth that meditation is not about escaping reality, but about becoming more present to it. Meditation is simply the practice of stopping the incessant mental chatter and becoming more aware of the present moment. Through meditation, we create the space to observe our thoughts without being attached to them, allowing us to step out of the mental noise and into the stillness that lies within. This stillness is a place of peace and clarity, free from the worries and anxieties that the mind often creates. Being present and aware in each moment frees us from the grip of worry and anxiety. Tolle teaches that life's challenges often arise when we are not fully present. When we allow our minds to dwell on problems and uncertainties. He writes in The Power of Now, worry pretends to be necessary, but serves no useful purpose. By practicing presence, we learn to meet each moment with clarity and calmness, without the need for mental overreaction. When we stop trying to control every situation and simply allow things to unfold, we find that life flows more naturally and effortlessly. The more we cultivate presence, the more we find that life unfolds naturally and effortlessly, without the strain of constant mental activity. Eckhart Tolle's teachings offer a profound shift in how we approach life. By letting go of the mental patterns that keep us in a cycle of worry and anxiety, we free ourselves to experience the fullness of life. As he states in A New Earth, when you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. This liberation from worry is not about achieving perfection or avoiding challenges, but about embracing life as it is, trusting that the present moment holds all the potential we need. With this awareness, we become less attached to outcomes and more open to the richness of life, knowing that everything we need is always available in the now. In conclusion, the path to inner peace and fulfillment is about letting go of the habits that keep us trapped in worry, anxiety, and the illusion of control. By practicing mindfulness, embracing the present moment, and releasing attachment to our thoughts, we open ourselves to a deeper connection with life and with others. As Eckhart Tolle writes in The Power of Now, the present moment is the field on which the game of life happens. Living in the present moment frees us from the mental chatter that keeps us in a state of constant worry, allowing us to experience life more fully and with greater joy. The spiritual practice of presence, as taught by Tolle, is the key to living a life of peace, clarity, and true self-awareness. Third habit that needs addressing is excessive consumption. In his book, The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle teaches that being trapped in the cycle of mind-driven desires, constantly seeking external satisfaction, prevents us from experiencing true inner peace. The more a person consumes, the more they lose touch with their deeper sense of purpose and the present moment. This excessive focus on acquisition, whether it be material possessions or fleeting pleasures, keeps us from experiencing life as it truly is. Tolle writes, "You are not your mind." When we identify with the constant chatter in our heads, it becomes easy to believe that more things, more success, and more recognition are what will bring us peace. But this is an illusion. Pursuit of possessions often leads to a sense of emptiness. We may accumulate wealth or material goods, but these external things can never fill the void within. Tolle's teachings emphasize that happiness is not found in external conditions, but rather in the present moment. True contentment arises when we learn to let go of the need for more, accepting ourselves as we are, and finding peace in the here and now. As he puts it, wherever you are, be there totally. This idea is at odds with the consumerist mentality. That tells us we need more to be happy. When we focus on materialism, we neglect the deeper aspects of life that foster true fulfillment, connection, love, and purpose. The habit of excessive consumption hinders our ability to truly serve others and to find joy in simple acts of kindness. As Tolle notes, the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. Worrying about what we don't have or what we might lose keeps us from experiencing peace and connection in the present moment. Generosity is often obstructed by our attachment to material wealth. If our value is placed on what we own, we may struggle to share with others, fearing that giving will deplete our own resources. But Tolle teaches that true generosity comes from a deep sense of abundance within ourselves, not from what we possess. When you are present, he writes, you feel the aliveness of life. This aliveness is not dependent on external conditions, but on our ability to be fully present with what is. When we let go of the need to accumulate more and open ourselves to the needs of others, we experience the flow of life in a deeper and more meaningful way. Apathy is another behavior that must be addressed. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, it is easy to become numb to the suffering of others. The constant bombardment of news and social media can desensitize us, leading to indifference. Tolle writes, in a new earth, the moment you become aware of the ego in you, you have already transcended it. Apathy and disinterest are forms of egoic thinking, where we place ourselves at the center of our world and detach from the collective well-being. When we focus too much on our own thoughts, worries, and concerns, we lose sight of the interconnection that binds us all. Taking action from a place of presence is the antidote to apathy. Tolle teaches that when we are truly present, we are open to the needs of others and can respond with compassion. The present moment is the most precious thing there is, he says. Compassion arises naturally when we live in the present, free from the distractions of past regrets or future anxieties. By cultivating presence, we become more attuned to the needs of those around us and can offer our help without hesitation or judgment. This compassion transcends the ego, allowing us to connect with others from a place of deep understanding and shared humanity. Fourth habit to address is the promotion of doubt as a virtue, which can lead to a lack of trust in life's unfolding. Tolle's teachings emphasize the importance of surrendering to the present moment rather than resisting it with doubt or fear. As he explains in The Power of Now, the mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. Doubt, when it stems from a fear-driven mind, keeps us trapped in a constant state of uncertainty and worry. It prevents us from fully embracing life as it is and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. In contrast, faith, understood as trust in the present moment, is a powerful tool for inner peace. Tolle invites us to trust that life is happening for us, not to us. This trust allows us to let go of the need to control every aspect of our existence and to embrace life's flow with acceptance. When we are able to trust in the present moment, we stop worrying about what might happen in the future or what has already passed. Instead, we are free to experience life as it unfolds, with all of its uncertainties and surprises. Doubt becomes a destructive force when it leads to a constant state of worry and fear. Tolle teaches that when we are consumed by worry, we are disconnected from the present moment. Worry is a form of mental resistance that prevents us from experiencing peace. Worry pretends to be necessary. Tolle pretends to be necessary. Tolle writes in A New Earth, but it serves no useful purpose. When we worry about the future, we miss the beauty and peace available to us right now. By learning to surrender to the present, we free ourselves from the grip of worry and doubt. The key to overcoming doubt and worry is mindfulness, bringing our attention to the present moment. This practice helps us become aware of the ways in which our minds are constantly creating stories about the future or the past. These stories often lead to unnecessary worry and stress. Tolle suggests that when we feel doubt or anxiety arising, we should simply observe it without judgment. By doing so, we can disidentify with the mind's projections and return to the present moment where peace resides. In the process of living mindfully, we begin to realize that the present moment is all we have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. All we can truly experience is now. Tolle writes, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. This is the essence of living without worry, accepting that what is happening right now is enough. When we live in the present, we stop chasing after things that may never come and start enjoying what is already here. Living in the present moment is also the key to finding peace in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions. Tolle emphasizes that our minds are often preoccupied with past regrets or future anxieties, but these thoughts are not who we are. True self is found in the present moment, where we can experience peace, joy, and love. When we accept that we are tired, that we don't have all the answers, and that we don't need to constantly be chasing something else, we can begin to live more fully and peacefully. Lack of forgiveness is the fifth habit that needs to be evaluated and transformed. Eckhart Tolle teaches that holding on to grudges and bitterness keeps us trapped in the past, creating emotional and mental blocks that prevent us from experiencing peace in the present. Forgiveness is not just an act of kindness toward others, it is essential for our own well-being. As Tolle writes in A New Earth, when you forgive, you free your mind from the past. This act of releasing negative emotions allows us to move forward, free from the grip of resentment and anger. Forgiveness is a path to inner peace and emotional freedom. Tolle emphasizes that forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior or forgetting, but rather about letting go of the emotional charge attached to the offense. Holding on to bitterness and resentment is a form of mental resistance, which keeps us anchored in the past and prevents us from being fully present. The more we cling to past wounds, the more we miss the beauty of the present moment. As he states in The Power of Now, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. When we struggle to forgive, we create separation between ourselves and others, as well as between ourselves and the present moment. The inability to forgive can prevent us from experiencing the connection and peace that Tolle describes as the essence of being. Holding on to grudges creates inner tension and disrupts the flow of life, making it difficult to experience the aliveness that comes from being fully present. Tolle suggests forgiveness is the end of suffering. It is the end of suffering. It is the end of the ego's need to hold on to past hurts and grievances. By refusing to forgive, we also block the natural flow of love and compassion in our relationships. Forgiveness is vital for healing and restoring trust between people. Without it, old wounds fester and relationships remain broken. As Tolle points out, when we don't forgive, we keep the past alive. This prevents us from moving forward and deepens the divide between us and those we care about. The act of forgiveness is a gift we give not only to others, but also to ourselves, allowing us to free ourselves from the weight of past pain. Forgiveness is essential for personal growth and spiritual evolution. In Tolle's view, spiritual awakening involves letting go of the ego's hold over us, and one of the most powerful ways to do this is through forgiveness. The moment you forgive, you are free, he writes. When we forgive, we release the need to judge or control others, which allows us to experience a deeper sense of peace and connection. This openness to others is a crucial aspect of our spiritual maturation, as it allows us to grow beyond the limitations of ego. The sixth habit that needs attention is resistance to change. Resistance to change is a significant obstacle to both spiritual growth and personal development. Tolle teaches that change is an inherent part of life, and embracing it is key to living in harmony with the flow of existence. When we resist change, we resist life itself. In The Power of Now, Tolle explains, the ego resists the present moment. The ego wants to keep you stuck in the past or lost in the future. By clinging to the past or fearing the future, we prevent ourselves from fully experiencing the present moment where true peace resides. Change is a constant in our spiritual journey. Tolle suggests that we must cultivate an openness to change in order to grow spiritually and emotionally. Change is not something to fear, but something to embrace as part of our evolution. When we resist change, we remain trapped in the limitations of our old thought patterns and behaviors, and this keeps us from growing and expanding our consciousness. Tolle encourages us to accept what is and to allow life to unfold naturally, without unnecessary resistance. Resistance to change can also prevent us from making the most of the opportunities that life presents. When we are unwilling to adapt to new circumstances or take on new challenges, we may miss out on the chance to grow and evolve. Tolle puts it, "The present moment is always the point where life is transforming." By resisting change, we close ourselves off to new experiences and possibilities that could enhance our lives and deepen our spiritual understanding. Spiritual growth, according to Tolle, requires us to let go of the need for control and to allow life to guide us. This means being open to new experiences, even if they are unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Change can be challenging, but it is also an opportunity for transformation. As Tolle writes in A New Earth, when you let go of the need to control, life begins to flow in a new direction. By embracing change, we allow ourselves to be more fully alive, open to the flow of life and all it has to offer. Resistance to change can also create tension in our relationships. When we are rigid in our expectations or unwilling to accept others as they are, we limit the potential for growth and connection. Tolle's teachings emphasize that true harmony comes from accepting both ourselves and others without judgment. When we resist change, we also resist the process of mutual understanding and growth within our relationships. By embracing change, we open ourselves to deeper connections and more meaningful interactions. Furthermore, the refusal to change can hinder our ability to contribute positively to the world around us. Tolle teaches that the world is in constant flux, and our capacity to make a difference depends on our ability to respond to the changing needs of the present moment. When you are present, you can act without being driven by the past or future, he writes. By resisting change, we become disconnected from the needs of others and the world, diminishing our ability to make a positive impact. Summary: embracing change and letting go of resistance are essential for spiritual growth, personal development, and meaningful relationships. Tolle's teachings encourage us to live with a sense of openness and acceptance, allowing life to flow naturally. When we resist change, we miss out on opportunities for growth and transformation. By accepting change and embracing the present moment, we align ourselves with the flow of life and open ourselves to deeper peace, love, and fulfillment. Your decision to watch this video comes from a deeper consciousness to become more present in life and to grow as a person. That's why I recommend you to subscribe to this channel as we post new videos every day so you can continue your journey of self-discovery. When you find this message meaningful, comment with the word "now." Let's do this together.